everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are in Oia, Santorini, one of the most famous villages in Greece and one of the most recognisable landscapes in the Mediterranean. Oia is located on the northwestern tip of Santorini, overlooking the island's spectacular caldera. The views from here are incredible, with its whitewashed buildings on the edge of the cliff and the blue sea. It looks really incredible. But there is much more to Oia than beautiful white buildings and famous sunset. This village has fascinating history shaped by volcanoes, earthquakes, pirates and trade. The houses we see today are closely connected to Santorini's volcanic landscape, while the village itself was once home to a prosperous community of sailors and merchants. In today's video we're going to explore Oia from the street to the caldera, discover its historic castle area and finish the day with the sunset that made Oia famous around the world. From here you can really see what makes Santorini different. The village sits along the edge of the caldera, the enormous volcano created by a huge eruption thousands of years ago. The eruption around the 16th century BC dramatically reshaped the island and created the landscape that visitors see today. So when you look across the sea, you're not simply looking at a beautiful view, you're looking at the remains of one of the most powerful volcano events that happened in ancient Mediterranean. So I'm using the drone footage to show you most of Oia, and then once this drone footage has finished, I'm going to show you the streets of Oia as I walk through them and give my opinions of how it has been and give you a bit of a tour around Oia. The name Oia comes from the meaning of the upper side. Today, Oia is one of Santorini's most visited destinations. If you take a look at these streets, Oia's traditional layout developed around the dramatic cliffside landscapes. Many of the buildings appear to be stacked one above another, with narrow path stairs, terraces and small courtyards connecting them. There's an interesting reason why so many of the houses look as though they've been carved into the cliff. So traditional caves were created partly by taking advantage of the volcanic rock and natural formations of the island. So the thick walls and the earth sheltered interior also helped regulate temperatures, keeping interiors relatively cooler during the hot summer and warmer during the cooler period. Traditional Santorini construction made use of the local volcanic materials, including pumice, volcanic earth and other rocks. So the architecture here isn't simply decorative, it developed as a practical response to the island's geology, climate and limited resources. Now let's talk about the giant features dominating the view, the caldera. Santorini is actually part of a volcanic complex. The enormous caldera was formed following a major eruption around the 16th century BC when a huge section of the volcanic islands collapsed into the sea. The result is the dramatic crescent-shaped landscape we see today. So we are approaching the castle, which is up there on the hill. So the castle is what remains. This side you've got view, including the windmills. So the castle was built on the highest part of Oya. So this was initially built to give defenders excellent view across the sea. Today much of its original fortress has fallen into ruins, but parts of the oldest wall and structure still remain. The castle is one of the most famous sunset viewing spots in Santorini. It offers spectacular views of the caldera and the sea surrounding the volcanic islands. The area around the castle is extremely popular at sunset, so it can become very crowded, especially during summer. It is free to visit. There is no entrance tickets to access the ruins. You can just walk in. So the castle was badly affected in the 1956 Santorini earthquake, which destroyed and damaged many buildings across Oya. See the view of Ammoudi Bay. There is a lot of boats in this area and yachts. So on one side there is the caldera and on the other side is the red beach. So it's almost like you get a 360 view from the castle. This part is particularly nice because most of Oya is just filled with white buildings, but here you've got a bit more colour, so it looks a lot nicer and brighter. It's just a bit different. I really like these little houses or hotel buildings. One thing to note about any part of Santorini, whether it's Oya or Fira, they all have lots of stairs to climb, so it is a city built on steps. The walk is a lot better when it's in springtime, because summertime would be a lot worse. I did go in spring and it still did feel quite hot. I think the weather was 23 degrees to 26, around that mark, and it still felt very hot, especially when you're walking up and down these steps. But you do get a lovely view of the sea as you walk down. So you've got the famous landmark, which is the windmills as well up there. You can see how they've built these buildings onto these rugged rocks. There are some really good places to take pictures. For example, here you can have pictures with the caldera view in the background. It's very steep to get down. See how red the rocks are. There's a lot of steps to climb in the heat, but I know the walk up will be much more worse. So I'm going to hopefully try to come back at sunset or after sunset. Now I'm nearly there, so just have to get right to where you can see. Some people are getting donkeys off.
Don't yell!
As you could see in that little clip, the donkeys were about to run us over, so the lady that was riding it didn't have much control over it. So yeah, there is that to look out for. So we have pretty much arrived to the bottom. So this is Ammoudi Bay. Was a little bit tiring. Took about 15 to 20 minutes. But the climb down isn't too bad because it's just going downhill. There are a lot of little cafes around that sell things like ice cream, coffee, and even some restaurants. Now we're sitting outside a Santorini water taxi. Got a bit of seating areas, and this is the view. You can get these taxis. So you can order things like fresh seafood, which is caught here. And there you've got the famous Ammoudi Bay sign with the octopuses. So they aren't real, although they do look real. So we're sat here next to the beach. Nice sea breeze. I'm just going to have some ice cream now and some tea to cool down and enjoy the views. This is where the ship docks and gets off. Having passengers. Well, it takes you to see the volcanoes and to the hot spring. It's quite busy and full in there. To be fair, it does have an upstairs and a downstairs. This is an incredible place to sit and have dinner with a view of the sea. So a bit like the red beach, this is also like a red volcanic rock. So you can see up there is where we're going to head back up now. So I'll show you. So it's all the way up these steps. So it'll probably take about 15 to 20 minutes to get all the way up to the top, where you can see the castle, which is about here, where my finger is, about there. So yeah, it's a very long way up. So it's about 6:30 now, and I'll check back up there what time it gets to, and I will let you know. It was this one called Sunset Oya, and they sell things like sandwiches and chips and drinks and ice cream as well. So seeing some yachts along the way. There's a very big yacht here. So this bit is really red coloured, the cliffside. So on the other side you do have the Red Sea as well. So see how red the cliffs are. This is a lot different from the Ammoudi Bay that we saw. I just another quick pit stop for some ice cream, so I'm having some Kinder Bueno flavoured ice cream at a place called Cool Cafe. As you can see, I did get a bit sidetracked. Rather than just going straight walking up, I stopped for some ice cream, so I'll do this and then we'll start to walk up. Okay, now starting the walk, you have to head across this way to the steps. I'm dreading the walk, to be honest, because it's quite hot still. It has cooled down a little bit, but still a little bit hot. Cobbles aren't the best, sometimes they feel a bit slippery, but it is going to be very painful. Yeah, about halfway up the stairs, just resting on some, it's like a little stone bench where you can sit, and still got halfway left, but the sun is setting behind me, and this is where you can sit. Some stones. You can see the stairs are really hard to go back up because they are on a slope, they're not flat, so yeah, they're like a slide. Very steep, very tiring. We did make it to the castle, but it was too busy to record. Everyone was everywhere and it's very hard. I am out of breath, but it took about maybe 15-20 minutes to get back up, and now we are next to the blue domes. Not so far from it. It's blocked by this view, but it's just behind there. I'll be honest, it was tiring as expected. A clearer view. Okay, don't think I went down here earlier, so I feel like all the places all do the same things, like magnets, gifts, souvenirs, jewellery. Mm-hmm. This place is quite pretty. Nice cute shots. There's Sal's Ted Baker.
Probably also see the sunset that time, anyways.
Never mind, never mind. Look at
I think these are the high-end restaurants. Yeah. So we've made it back here, which we were in early in the morning. The sunsets here look incredible, and Oya is very, very famous, like I said before, for sunsets. A lot of people do come out just to see the sunset. There is a lot of rooftop restaurants, but I did prefer the rooftop restaurants in Fira because I felt like they were a lot more quieter. It was easier to get a table with an incredible view. So I did overall prefer Fira for sunsets, if I'm honest, but Oya has some beautiful scenery, especially in the daytime, seeing the blue domes and the castle, so it's definitely recommended, and it is nevertheless still beautiful to see sunsets too. So after a lot of searching, was able to get a rooftop restaurant. There was quite a few we went to, but they didn't have any seats on the edge. So this one was the only one that had a seat on the edge. Even though it had like a balcony and glass on top, it was still good enough. And as you can see, the landscape in front of us is beautiful. Looks like
Wow. Oh, that's good.
So I ordered an iced tea. It was very refreshing, very sweet. It was peach tea. So this is tomato and zucchini fritters. So it's very Mediterranean. So it's crispy and it's got some tartar sauce on top. They are very nice. They are very nice, very crispy, full of flavour. See the tomato in the sauce as well. Very crispy, very savoury. Also ordered a pizza. They do tend to have a lot of pizza in a lot of these restaurants, and so you can't go wrong with a pizza. This was pretty nice. It had olives and peppers. It has got quieter in the restaurant now as people start to leave. So now the sun has gone down and it's completely dark. At night time everything lights up and it's nice to walk through. It feels very warm. Made it back to the hotel after Oya in a long but very insightful day. Managed to have dinner on the rooftop. Oya overall is nice. It's got blue domes which Fira doesn't have, but it's a lot more busier. And that's it for today. Please remember to like and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.